Wendy, I mentioned your report. It wasn't a report, felt like an opinion on Bronny, but you know how it works. You say something, then all of a sudden people make it a report. And it felt like Bronny was maybe being a diva the way it was presented, that he's not flying, not getting on an airplane. So I wanted to be fair because I was critical of the report, or your opinion, I should say. So I wanted to have you on just so we can maybe better understand what is it that Bronny is doing in the G League and what happens when his team is on the road.
Yeah, I know we're in this era where you can go on as you know, Dan, you can say something for, 3 minutes, 2 minutes, and then one paragraph gets pulled out and it's like, you lose all the context. That's reality. What I said, and I'll say again, was that I am totally on board with the whole Bronny James thing with the Lakers. I think it was a smart move to draft him. I think it was a great move to bring him around the team because the 55th pick in the draft hits a single-digit percentage of the time. And if the Lakers can use the 55th pick on Bronny James and get a more engaged LeBron this year, I don't care if it's a single-digit percentage more engaged LeBron. It's a good investment. And so I've been totally on board with it. And also, it is not unusual for NBA roster players, and Bronny is an NBA roster player. He's not a two-way player. This is a little bit of splitting of hairs, especially if you're a casual NBA fan. You don't really care that much about it. But there's a difference between a two-way contract where you're basically signed to spend a lot of your time, if not most of your time, in the G League, and you don't even get paid a full NBA salary, versus being a roster player where you get a full NBA salary no matter what, which Bronny is a full roster player. It is not unusual for full roster players to go down and only play home games for their teams, especially when their teams are so close to the parent club, which in a lot of cases is either in the city or within a very short drive. So in and of itself, it is not special treatment, which is what it sounded like if you only read the tweet. It sounded like that. That's not what I was saying. What I was saying was, I think it would be better for Bronny to go spend a bunch of time in the G League. And that this is the first thing, in my opinion, that it is a misstep with Bronny. And not only that, the South Bay Lakers, the Lakers G League team, which plays, I'm in Los Angeles right now, they just play, 15 miles from Crypto. They have a great history of producing guys who go play with them. They actually have a great development history. We're talking about like Alex Caruso, Talen Horton-Tucker, Austin Reeves, Scottie Pippen Jr., who's playing huge minutes right now for the Memphis Grizzlies, was a guy who spent a bunch of time with the South Bay Lakers. Jay Huff, also playing with the Grizzlies. And so I was just offering an opinion that Bronny should go play there and that should be what happened. I know you take out one paragraph of what I just said, and I said, I don't know if they don't want him to get on an airline, if that's an issue. And also, here's something else. I never said, nor is it true, that this was being asked for by Bronny James or LeBron James. This is the Lakers' organizational decision. And I never said differently. But again, if you only hear a paragraph, if you only read a paragraph, and I understand that social media in a lot of ways programs our world. But that's what I said then. That's what I say now. And I don't change my opinion on that.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to have you on, because I wanted context here, because it felt like, oh, Bronny is being a diva. He's not going to get on a United Airlines flight and play on the road. And I agree with you. He needs to play basketball games. He needs to have a full schedule. So he's ready to come up, because I guess, is it going to be strategic depending on TV games? Like Christmas, is he coming up? Do you have any idea what the Lakers are how they're going to use Bronny in these situations?
No, and I'm not sure they do either. I mean, a lot of it comes down, he's not a rotation player. He's not a guy who's going to figure into what JJ Redick is doing on a night-to-night basis. The games that he has played have either been when the Lakers have gotten blown out and he's on the active roster and they just give him basically garbage time, or special moments like when he played in Cleveland. That game ended up being lopsided, but I think they were going to try to get him in that game. And then obviously on opening night, he's not a roster player. So their plans for him are not to be a roster player, or not to be a rotation player unless he earns that. And the way he's going to earn that is not by playing in garbage minutes. He's going to earn that, in my opinion, by going and playing in the G League. And I don't regret saying that, and I do stand by that.